couple of weeks ago I made a video where I said this. So there was a particular drone that I've been eyeing for actually about 2 years. Now that drone that I mentioned back then that was supposed to take a month to arrive, well, a couple of days after I recorded that, I got confirmation that it's going to arrive sooner than I thought. A few days later, it arrived. And what it was this. The Ryze Tello made with DJI. So my first experience with the drone wasn't that positive. But this time, I'm excited to try this out. I'm gonna try to set my expectations a little lower, so I won't be disappointed as much. But, you know, we'll see. But for now, let's unbox this thing. And there we go, the drone is out, the first battery is in, and I am excited to go and test this. So, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna test it out for a couple of weeks, and when I come back, I'll give you guys a review on what I think about the drone. Yeah? Sound good? See you in 2 weeks. Okay, it's been about 2 weeks, so let's talk about the Ryze Tello. So after the experience that I had with the first drone that I got, I was cautious with my expectations for the Tello because I didn't want to give it too high stakes for it to just let down. I didn't want to build myself up for another disappointment. Well, I'm glad to tell you that all of the expectations that I did build, the Tello took them and completely flew away with them. Okay, let me give you the specs of the drone first. So it weighs 80 grams with the battery. It measures 9.8 centimeters by 9.3 centimeters, or 3.9 inches by 3.7 inches. So it's a tiny little thing. Inside it has a 720p HD camera, I know, with a 5 megapixel sensor. And it's powered by an 1100 milliamp hour battery. This gives it a max flight time of around 13 minutes, which in my testing I found to be actually quite accurate. The relatively strong antennas in it give it a max flight distance of about 100 meters and a max flight height of about 30 meters. Now, regarding the height maximum, it is tiny. It is 80 grams. Personally, I wouldn't want to go or hang around in that 30-meter area, that max distance, that max height for too long, because if you lose connection while it's up there, anything can happen. Anything. All of that is packed into a high-quality plastic body, which can definitely take a beating. On the front of the body, it has the slightly angled 720p HD camera. On the left side, it has a micro USB port for charging. On the right side, it has the power button that you use to power it on. And on the back, it has the slot in which you slide in the 1100 milliamp hour battery. Underneath the drone, it has these 2 sensors that it uses to keep itself better in balance and to determine if it's safe to land. There is no SD card slot because the Tello records straight to your phone. So that's a lot for a little drone that costs 100 euros, or the same in dollars. Now, I myself opted for the Boost combo, which is 50 more in either currency, and it comes with 2 extra batteries and a charger that holds all of those 3 batteries that you now have. Personally, just for that, it is definitely worth the 50. It also comes with another set of propellers, putting you at a total of 3, because the original drone just comes with 2, and an extra set of propeller guards. But the drone itself comes with a pre-installed set, so now you have 2. And of course, both of those are just nice flares for the money. I mean, it's just for the batteries and the charger, it's already worth the $50 extra. Now you control the drone by connecting it to your smartphone and controlling it via an app. There is an official app, this one, which is terrible. Don't use it. Instead, I strongly recommend you to go for this one, the Tello FPV app. I mean, it does cost €6, but it's just €6, and the stuff that you get is worth way more money than that. The Tello FPV app has support for basically any controller that you can connect to your phone, whether it is Bluetooth or wired. Personally, I use an extra DualShock 4 controller that I have, and connecting it via Bluetooth is no big deal, very easy to control. And if I wanted to, thanks to the app, I can rebind all the controls to whatever I want. Now, a side note about using the DualShock 4 with the Bluetooth is that using it that way does add some extra lag. So personally, I would recommend to go for the USB OTG route. So you just connect it with an OTG cable and you will have a 99% lag-free experience. But the Tello FPV app is not just for the controller support. There's so much more to it. For example, FPV mode, support for VR, land on hand, auto land, return to home, circle or orbit, lock heading, 360 panorama, and improved telemetry for the sensors and the calibration, which is just insane. And it all works wonderfully. Though do remember that the drone is very light, so if it's fighting the wind, which it can do surprisingly well, but if it's fighting the wind and trying to do an autopilot sequence, that footage may not be the smoothest out there. But all of that for an extra €6 for the app, it's crazy. The same creator has another app which you do need to buy separately, which adds active tracking to the Tello. €100 drone. That is absolutely nuts. And for that, I tested it out briefly, but what I tested just worked. What? So how is the actual user experience in total? Well, the connection process is a bit annoying due to the whole Wi-Fi connection thing. It's very frustrating that for me to fly the drone, I have to connect my phone via Wi-Fi, which means that the Wi-Fi of the drone overwrites any other connection to the phone, which means I have no internet connection at all while flying. But while that is annoying, I understand the reasoning behind it and the fact that doing it that way allowed the price to be what it is. So in the end, I think it's completely fair. But once you get past the whole connection process and the annoyance with that, using the drone itself is a breeze. Swapping the batteries is easy. The drone takes off without no problem, lands without no problem, and it stays level even in the tougher surroundings. And like I said, it fights wind surprisingly well for its size. It's a really responsive, capable little drone. Now 720p 30 FPS is a little rough for 2022, I know. But if you want something more impressive for like actually really good footage, then you want to dish out a few hundred more for something like the $300 DJI Mini SE. Or perhaps something used. Nevertheless, the camera does its job as well as it can. As well as you could expect. Especially for this price point. Maybe even better. But do pay in mind that there is no gimbal on the camera, so I mean, you are restricted to how steadily you yourself can fly the drone. So is the Ryze Tello still worth it in 2022? I'd say if you're looking for a drone to start with, to start practicing with, it is perfect. You will be hard pressed to find something with more value for 100 euros. I mean, there's just no competition for this. And if you treat the Tello correctly, it can actually show you what kind of footage you'd be able to get with a better drone. Not the footage quality, but what kind of footage you can get. So if you've been curious about drones and been dreaming of getting into it for a while, the Tello is, I think, perfect for you, even still in 2022. There is just, for the price that I paid, I don't have anything bad to say about this. Now contrast this to my last drone video. And by the way, if you like the video, click the like button. I mean, you got this far, and if you think I'm worth it, consider a subscription to the channel. But if you don't, check out this video right here to see more of my stuff. Alright, I'm lowfigh. I wish you all a great day. See ya.